Well, hello. Welcome back to another exciting edition of Coffee with Stephen. So, this week's blog is simply entitled Individualism. Um, it was very, very interesting. I was having a conversation with a couple of colleagues, and we were talking about the collective mentality, tribalism, a lot of the things that I've sort of discussed before. Somehow, and I'm not entirely sure how the conversation sort of devolved into this, but somehow this also got into the idea of group organizations, marriages, just thing individualism to a granular level. And one of the individuals had said, well, when I became married, I ceased being an individual. And that immediately kind of rubbed me the wrong way. One of the things that, is sort of part and parcel with our social development is this belief system that when we become united with another human being or we join a group or something like that, that takes over our social identity. We might think of ourselves as an individual, but it's within the context of being part of a greater whole. Now, whether it's religion, an ethnic tribal affiliation, a political movement, or something like that, there's something to be said for the loyalty that is established based on that concept, but it also runs contrary to our most fundamental ideals of being an American. While I necessarily understand that I am an American, I am still fully an individual responsible for my own actions. Just like, one of the things that I say in the blog, a lot of people refer to me as Sandy's husband. Now, I know that's done somewhat in a charming manner. And the reverse is true, too. Sandy is sometimes referred to as Stephen's wife. And yet, there's something inherently wrong with that. We are not defined by the voluntary associations we make with other people. We're defined by ourselves, the decisions that we make, not necessarily for our own self-interest. Some of these decisions are made in a self-sacrificing manner for the betterment of others. That's the ultimate in being self-serving, being self-sacrificing. Interesting Freudian slip on that one. But notwithstanding all of that, I think it's incredibly important that people understand that at a fundamental level, they are themselves, that they make rational decisions for their own betterment. In fact, this is our journey. Our journey is ultimately an individual one. We're born as individuals, and ultimately we die as individuals. Everything that happens in between is for our own personal growth. Now, do not misunderstand what I am saying. The social connections that we make are absolutely valuable for our own personal development. And sometimes those emotional connections that develop by those social constructs are incredibly deep. They absolutely enrich our lives, and we wouldn't trade them for the world. But they are first and foremost secondary to who we are as individuals. Rugged individualism is one of the things, in fact, I would argue probably one of the most important things that made this country incredibly great. When we lose that idea, when we lose the idea of us as individuals, then we put at risk the entire social experiment. Anyways, I highly recommend that you read the blog this week. As always, you can comment directly on it, or you can email me at stephen@artemishq.com. Again, I want you to train constantly, train consistently, train repetitively, and train with purpose. Above all else, stay safe.